What secret are you currently hiding from someone that you're willing to share? I've started to on occasion accidentally, but on purpose, not hang up my phone correctly when getting off a call with my daughter-in-law. I then proceed to talk to my husband about how much I enjoy talking to her, how lovely I think she is, how glad I am that our son chose her, and whatever other boost I may think she needs. She doesn't have any family that uplifts her, just the kind that tears her down. I started doing this after my son told me about his wife coming to him in full-on snot tears, because I had once butt-dialed her while talking to my husband about her. She stayed on the line to hear what I really thought of her, expecting the worst, because that's been her experience of family. Apparently, she was quite touched by the things I said, and my son told me it gave her a confidence boost that lasted weeks, so I do it more often now. Neither of them have any idea I do it on purpose, though. They just think I'm getting old and worse at managing my tech. I have rented a bouncy house water slide for my wife's 39th birthday. She has no idea. I am the 7 accounts that donate to my cousin's streams. Little man needs something positive, and it's better if he thinks it's from internet strangers and not a sympathetic cousin. I told my best friend I won a holiday in a raffle and wanted her to come with me free of charge. We stayed in a nice hostel, did lots of fun activities, and I paid for it all with a prepaid credit card from the raffle. I didn't win anything. I booked it all myself and paid everything for her because she deserved a break, and I knew she couldn't afford it, nor would she have accepted me paying for her. I would do it again 10x over. She deserves the absolute world. In 6th grade, I pissed in a bottle of Coca-Cola that had 1/4 of its content remaining. You see, this asshole of a bully often tries to forcefully take my snack during recess, so I handed him that bottle of cola. He did make a comment that it had an awful aftertaste, but nothing too crazy of a reaction. At that moment, I felt like I would burst into laughter, but if I did, he would suspect something was wrong with the cola. I also knew I would be in a world of trouble if the teachers knew I did something horrendous like that, so I kept my mouth shut and walked away. Till this day, I haven't seen him since 6th grade, and I'm currently in my first year of college. I'm not colorblind. When I was very young, I didn't understand what colorblindness was. My dad is colorblind, and I thought that automatically meant I was too, and apparently everybody did. I was maybe in high school before I actually took a test, and I aced it, but by then, all my friends had been buying colorblind compatible versions of board games, and we had all sorts of inside jokes about being colorblind. Honestly, it's been a bonding moment with my friends, so I just haven't told them, and I've kept up the ruse for about 15 years now. I am a teacher, and I am off for the summer. I get to spend all that time with my daughter, age 4, and my son, who is not quite 1 yet. My wife works full-time, my son is just starting to talk, and my wife and I have a friendly competition going to try to get him to say Dada or Mama first. What she doesn't know is that while she is at work, I spend the day talking about her and saying the word Mama a lot. We have been working on it together for weeks. The other day, she walked in the door after getting home from a long day, and he looked at her and said, Mama, clear as day. She was so happy and rubbed it in my face playfully that he said Mama first, even did a little happy dance. I'll never tell her. I split my cat's treats in half. She's a chunky girl, and she'll never know. I haven't been able to get over my dad's death. Everyone has moved on, and it takes everything I have to get out of bed. I miss him so much. I've been homeless for a while, and I have a job interview at CVS tomorrow at noon. I'm so goddamn terrified. I need this job so badly. I'm desperate. That I have prostate cancer. I've told my siblings and my next-door neighbor, who also has it, we compare treatment options in progress. He chose radiation while I am considering surgery, but I feel like I would be garnering for sympathy if I shared it with more people that I know. I'm too burned out to function as a person outside of work anymore. Yes, I'll text my partner that I got home safe from work, but then I'll sit in the car and doom scroll or dissociate, sometimes up to an hour. I will also do this when I have to run errands. Just giant blocks of time I can't account for. Pissed away. I don't want to do this. I don't want to live like this. I don't know how to fix it. Every day, I fantasize about cashing everything in, leaving, and creating a new life for myself elsewhere, like a complete reinvention. I did this at age 28, partly because I knew there was no way I could afford to keep living where I grew up. I packed my car and drove away without a word to anyone in my life at the time. I did reconnect, from a distance, after a couple of years, though. Worked out okay for me. Just be sure you're not trying to run away from yourself, because that doesn't work, obviously. No matter where you go, there you are. Sometimes I'm grateful that I woke up blind. I was a total workaholic, and going blind was a nightmare that first summer. But the fact I couldn't work in nursing anymore, especially post-COVID, did wonders for my mental health. I also realized how much I love hanging out with my 3 sons. I didn't know how much I loved their company until I wasn't working 50, 60-hour weeks, mostly third shift. So I hardly ever saw my kids. Being blind sucks, and I feel guilty sometimes for thinking that I prefer it to how things were before. But given the choice, I don't think I'd go back to being sighted, because that would mean the nightmare of working in nursing again and never seeing my husband and my kids. Oh damn, a lot of these are really dark. I'm sorry for all of you, and hope you get people that help you. My secret is that I'm in love with my roommate, but I am too afraid to tell her. The heavy feeling of being lonely. It's not there all the time, it just hits you like an anchor sometimes. Don't have too many friends, mostly because I can be a difficult person to put up with. And it's not like I want too many, just want some company sometimes. I'm currently in federal prison, using an unauthorized device, enjoying Reddit. Hell yeah, brother. The account got deleted. I am so content and happy with my life, kids, wife, job, health right now, that I feel guilt. I rarely share my contentment with people other than my wife because of it. It's not that I'm like fabulously posh or don't have issues or whatever. I'm just sincerely content in my security and modest comforts. I feel like you can't simply acknowledge that your life is perfect without drawing the ire of someone else. I'm so lonely and depressed now after my divorce. I lost all my friends. I'm just waiting for my family to pass on. Then no one will even know I'm here. My dad lost everything in the divorce. Mom took him for a ride money-wise, lost the house, lots of assets, and was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer closely after she blindsided him with the divorce. It's been 7 years. He's fully recovered, has an amazing girlfriend, got hella promoted at work, is in the clear cancer-wise, and is happier than ever. Just know it sucks now, but it can always get better. My brother bought chickens as his little organic farm was struggling. I had suggested an honesty box for the excess eggs. He spent hours making his own red barn-shaped honesty box. Eggs went on sale, crickets, not much business at all. He was so defeated. All of a sudden, once a week, someone now calls by and buys all of his stock. Could be 10, 12 boxes of eggs. That someone is me. I buy the eggs. I'm growing resentment towards my family and IDK how to stop it. The older I get, the more I realize I'm not compatible with these people and how they choose to live. Edit for the people giving advice to move away. I'm 30 now and only living back with them because COVID messed up the industry I worked in and the financial stability built up in my 20s. I moved out at 19 and never had to come back till now. I will move out again. That's not the issue. It's more so a bunch of little things that add up, making me not even want to be associated with them. I've stopped trying to nudge them in a different direction because they are comfortable with their living standards. I just know when I have kids in the future, they'll be upset to hear the truth about why I'm not ever letting them stay over here. My best friend constantly uses me as an outlet for her anger and frustration, and it's giving me anxiety and depression when I'm around her BC. I don't know when I might say, do something that's going to make her explode. When I was 16, 17, I made out with my mom's friend, who is also the mom of one of my best friends from school. She's also a secondary school teacher, not my school, so it was pretty illegal. I wanted it to go further, but she stopped it, but we kissed a few times on other occasions after that, and she wanted to wait until I'm 18 before we went further. My mom would kill me/her if she found out. My school friend would probs kill me too, so it's a secret I gotta take to the grave. I just found out 2 of my direct reports will be fired soon because of the restructuring, and I have to keep it a secret. They are both excellent employees who do not deserve this at all. I've decided I'm handing in my resignation next week after 14 years and no other job lined up. I just can't look these people in the face. I'm not cut out for this corporate bullshit. I don't know about hiding, per se, but I've never told anyone. When I first moved to a new high school when I was 15, I ended up in a bad way very quickly with depression and such, like sleeping every hour of the day except for school kinda bad. That's not the story, though. I just felt like the school itself was really dreary and I didn't have any friends, so sometimes to just escape for a few minutes, I'd go to the bathroom that was usually empty during class and chill for a few minutes. To gather my thoughts, I guess. Anyway, one time I wrote a post-it note that said, "You are beautiful," and slapped it on the mirror and left. Don't know why, just felt like I needed it. So someone else probably did too, I guess. When I came back to the bathroom the next day, there were replies written on the note about how much someone had needed to hear that day, etc., etc. It made a dark time a little better to know I could make some other sad teenage girls at least smile, maybe. I did it a few more times that year every month or so. For years, I have always jokingly said that I'm not a people person. I really mean it. If I could get through a day without any kind of human interaction, I would be a very happy person. The thought of actually having to talk to people or be around them kind of ruins my day. I don't really love her, but I tell her that I do because nobody else does. She deserves to feel loved. She deserves to be loved. But unfortunately, I just don't love her. I know that when I eventually have to break it off with her, she's going to be devastated, and I only want her to be happy. I've created this problem. My ex-wife got hooked on mainlining opioids and got our son placed in foster care. After rescuing him from foster care by myself and raising him by myself for the past 7 years, she got sober and started to actively try to take custody from me. This culminated in her getting my son to say I slapped him once, I didn't, to a cop, and me getting charged and convicted of a serious felony that prevents me from ever seeing my little boy again. Some mornings, my hands just refuse to work. It takes everything I can do to get them to unclench. I've been on the verge of taking my life since it happened, and some days it seems a lot more likely I'll end up doing it. The only reason I haven't is I know the only person it will truly hurt is my son. I hope my mom passes before she needs constant care and assistance. She has no savings whatsoever, and in the last few years has become a source of stress and resentment for me. She used to be my go-to person to confide in. We'd have great conversations, but she's become someone I don't recognize anymore.